Hello everyone, my name is Monoyasha from Dreamvision Creations. I want to thank you for joining us on now part 4 on how to build your own DVC small hoof shoes. Today we're going to be going over now the transferring of the duct tape patterns, which you did in the last one, part 3, to the fur fabric of your choosing. I did a really short seal fur, what I'm going to do for the top, and I'm going to do a very long NFT. This is actually just a sample of it. For the back of the heel in order to hide the back of my heel for the shoe for the effect of the fake digigrade look. Some of the materials you're going to be needing today: the box cutter yet again, one preferably with the breakaway blades. You're going to need it very sharp to cut the back of the fabric but not the fur. I'm going to use a silver Sharpie marker. You can use black too, but it might possibly bleed. A pair of scissors for trimming off your extra material on the edges. A slicker brush for cleaning up the fur before you start sewing it. Pins if you prefer those, or wonder clips if you have access for starting to pin together the fur pieces and start sewing. And also access to preferably a sewing machine, which I'll be doing this tutorial, or you can hand sew all the parts together. Now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to clear most of this out of the way, and we're going to start rolling out the fabric and getting these patterns transferred over. I'll be actually drawing out the patterns for both the left and the right, so you can actually see the difference when you are transferring a single pattern for both feet, as you will need to flip the pattern over. I'll move that out of the way. You want the fabric to lay out straight as possible. It's a little difficult because I'm kind of trying to cram it on this space here. So I'm going to flip it over. And then you can use pins to hold it in place. This one's all marked, so go ahead and take the pins out. And now I'm going to label it, because I do have it labeled as an in and out. So this one's out, this one's in, and that way I don't get my left and right foot mixed up. So now, it's a lot easier, because now I am going to be doing the left foot. Okay, this pattern's done. I set that aside. I always hold on to my patterns until a project is finished, in case I get a little confused and I need something to go back to look at. It also really helps as well if you can take a picture of your original duct tape pattern on the shape, in case you get confused on what's what. Alright, now carefully, using the box cutter blade, we want to cut just this backing material. You don't want to actually cut the fur. If you cut the fur, then it looks really horrible, and very straight cut lines on the fur itself makes it more difficult to hide those seams. So I give it about 1/4 of an inch of extra material around my cuts. You can do more if you don't feel confident with that, but you can see I'm just cutting the backing, so it kind of pulls away and leaves this nice fluffy edge. That's what you want. I do not recommend using scissors for cutting fur, because that's when you get those harsh edges. Like I said, my blade's very, very sharp, that's why it's cutting so easily. And also this particular fur has a very unique backing to it that's nice and strong but smooth, so it's very easy to cut and draw on. Normal fake furs, you'll find it be a little bit more difficult to do this. So these pieces are both cut out now. Going over here by the sewing machine. And now it's time to do the NFT. Now this is going to be a little tricky because this is a 4-way stretch fur. And on the feet themselves, the top, you got all these little darts that need to be sewn. So if you got two right next to each other, you just do one at a time. I'm actually going to I'm going to use a regular pin for this one. Give a little brush there on those little darts that you sewed. Get the extra fibers out. Okay, now we can start sewing together the heel. Okay, before I cut this line, that's an important part, I'm going to actually flip it inside out and give it a quick brush. And you can see it's got a very defined seam right now. I want to get that out of there. Yeah, that's the foot inside out. So now it's time to add the NFT. And all you're doing is just lining up little hash marks again. Okay, now it's pinned. So this is going to be on the bottom side of the sewing machine. This will be the top. Okay, now that seam is sewn. I'm going to go ahead and trim around this. Oh, I'm going to brush it out first, then I'm going to trim around the edge. My bad. That's the end for this particular tutorial for number 4. Stay tuned for number 5, where we will actually start attaching this to the underlaying boot.